So in this lesson, we're going to look at the question, how can I divide rational numbers? Let's take a look at this number sentence here. Negative 3 1/3 divided by 2 1/2. The first thing we need to really ask ourselves is, well, what's the rule for dividing signed numbers? And remember, it's the same as multiplication. When I have two negatives, here we go. When you have two negatives, you equal a positive. When you have two positives, you'll equal a positive. And when you have one negative and one positive, you equal a negative. So I look here at the signs. I have a negative and a positive. So my answer is going to be negative. And then it's just regular division. So we can go ahead and move over here and do negative 3 1/2 divided by 2 1/2. So we really just gonna ignore that negative. Negative 3 1/2 divided by 2 1/2. In this case, you'll do 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10 over 3 divided by 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5 over 2. To divide, you're going to flip and then multiply. So we take the reciprocal, 10 over 3 times 2 over 5. I'm already seeing where I can cross cancel here, and cross cancel right here, where 5 goes into 10 twice and 5 goes into 5 once. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. 4/3 equals 1 and 1/3. I go back to the beginning and I say that this was a negative and a positive, so I know that my sign would then be negative 1 and 1/3 for my final quotient. Again, the same process works with decimals. Say I have 4.4 3/100 divided by negative 3 1/10. I see that I have one negative, so that means my answer will be negative. My quotient's going to be negative, and then I'm really just going to go through and do some long division with decimals. 3 1/10 divided into 4 3/100. Remember, with division, you move your decimal point over 1, because this is basically 4.03 over 3.1. If I multiply by 10 over 10, it equals 40.3 over 31, which is what I changed this number to. So my decimal comes here. I move it to the top. I can then go ahead and divide. 31 goes into 40 once. 1 times 31 is 1. 40 minus 31 is 9. Bring down to 3. 31 is going to go in. It's probably going to go in exactly 3 times. Let's go draw a line here. So my quotient, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 0. I don't even need to add any more decimal places. This worked out perfectly. So it's 1.3, 1 3/10. So I come back up here. I write down 1 3/10 and note that it is negative because I multiplied a negative times a positive. In this example, I want to show you how to solve a multi-step problem. In this one, you have the first part says negative 5 1/2 divided by 1/5 divided by negative 1 2/3. So you see the parentheses here? That means we're going to do this part first. So we just solve this problem separately. And we notice negative sign, so my quotient's going to be negative. Looking right here, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is, it's actually 11/2 divided by 1/5. It's going to, again, be a negative quotient. I flip and multiply, so it's 5 over 1, 11 over 2, times 11 times 5 equals 55 over 2. That's negative. And now I'm taking the 55 over 2 and dividing that by negative 1 2/3. In this case, because I have two negatives, my quotient is going to be positive. So I come down here, let's change colors. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5/3. I'm going to end up flipping that to 3/5. 55 divided by 2, or 55/2 divided by 5/3. 55/2 divided by 3/5. I can cross cancel here. 5 goes into 5 once and goes into 55 11 times. That does not look like an 11. 11 times 3 equals 33. 2 times 1 equals 2. So we end up with 33 halves here. And this is going to end up being positive 33 over 2. Obviously, we want to take this out of improper fraction, turn it into a mixed number. 2 is going to go into 33, 20 would be 10, and then another 6 would be up to 12, so it would be 32. So 2 times 16 is 32, and then we'd have that 1 left over to get to 33, so 16 and 1/2. Positive 16 and 1/2 is the answer after going through all 3 steps. So use parentheses and going through steps solved from left to right. Make sure you understand your order operations. If you're not sure on that, just ask. We'll go over that in class when you encounter those problems. And I got one more example to show you. In this example, I want to show you how to divide, and this would work for multiplying or adding and subtracting when you have one decimal and one fraction rational number. So in this case, you have 10.8 divided by 2 and 2/5. I prefer to work with decimals, so I'm going to convert this 2 and 2/5 into a decimal. I know that 2/5 equals 4/10, so it's going to be 2 and 4/10, which equals 2.4. Obviously, these are all going to be negative as well. I know now that I'm dividing a positive and negative, so opposite signs, so my actual answer is going to be negative. So 10.8 divided by negative 2 and 4/10 is going to equal negative something. 2 and 4/10 goes into 10.8. Multiply both by 10 to move the decimals over. Bring the decimal up. 24 doesn't go in 10, it goes into 108. It's going to go in at least 4 times. 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 8 minus 2, 10 minus 9. So I can add a 0. Bring that down. 24 is going to go into 120, not 4. It's going to go in 5 times. Wow, it's actually going exactly 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2 is 12. 0, 4.5, 4.5. So my quotient is going to end up being negative 4 and 5/10. And you're just going to convert. I usually convert the fraction into a decimal because I find it easier. You can go the other way around if you want. Either way works. You get to the same quotient. And so this video is how to divide rational numbers. Hopefully it looked a lot better with my new pen.